Hey Aquarius, I hope that you're all doing well. In the pre-shuffle, there was an energy that I was seeing connected with something that's going on for you, like on a personal level, on the emotional front, and then that having to do with you socializing in some way. What this means is that maybe there's somebody that you're going to spend time with. I see this as being somebody that would play more of like a supportive role for you, like somebody that maybe when you're going through something is there for you, or will like be supportive to you in some way. You know, when you're dealing with something and you maybe like go hang out with some of your friends, and then it can be something that kind of empowers you, encourages you, makes you feel confident about like the moves that you want to be making for yourself. There can be something along these lines that are coming up. We are starting off with the 5 of Cups, and we also have Strength on the bottom of the deck. And I think this is ultimately about a willingness for you to feel your feelings right now, and to understand why you are feeling the way that you're feeling, which is really important, because if you're not being present to the way that you're feeling, feelings carry messages with them. If you're not being present to your feelings, those messages are going to go like completely over your head. So now can be a time when you are trying to understand, just tuning in, and all that takes is listening. Okay, so as that's happening, I'm seeing a catalyst, an energy of a catalyst that's coming through. I don't know if this thing that you're going through is going to motivate you, or if you're going through something and then some sort of catalyst pops up seemingly around the same time. But I am seeing something happen here that it feels like it's picking the energy back up. Seeing a lot of dark purples here. This looks like it's actually going to be the catalyst for something on the emotional front for you, because I'm seeing Ace of Wands and I'm seeing the High Priestess here, which means that I see the High Priestess, this moon energy, as being your like ultimate core, like that witness that is within you, and also the part of you that you can see as being like the most you that there is within this lifetime. That is the energy of the High Priestess. So having an Ace of Wands next to it, there can be something about self-discovery that's coming up. There can be something about like, I'm going through this thing and I feel like I'm in a rough spot because of it. And so this is now going to motivate me to do something. Whatever this is, I'm seeing it would be deeply personal to you. So this can be maybe like a new personal journey that you're going to be going on. And again, I don't know if it just happens to come at the same time as this, or this thing that you're going through right now that can feel tough on you is motivating this to be happening. Like it could be sparking this to happen. But whatever it is, I'm seeing these things kind of intertwining and being very interconnected with one another. This can be something that maybe has you soul searching as well. You know when something just hits you hard enough that you're like, I need to understand more. I can't just leave it like this. It's like it makes you curious about things in a way where if something like this wasn't happening, sometimes we're not always motivated to dig more deeply. This feels like it's motivating you to dig very, very deeply. Okay, so both of these things happening at the same time, which can also give a bit of this feels like an opposition to me, where you can be a little bit back and forth. Like you can have this thing that is feeling inspiring and motivating to you right now. You can also have this other thing where you're like, it's really hard for me to feel this. You have both of these things happening at the same time. Ace of Wands, usually we do want to be connected to that. So it's going to be something where there's a resonance to it, where it's something that's coming through and it's going to feel really right to you, where you do want to connect with that. And then you have this other experience that's based off of what you're going through on the emotional front right now, that you can like even want to turn away from a little bit, because that can be hard to deal with at times. That means also that you can be feeling what you're feeling and also trying to understand what it means. I'm seeing stuff about moon cycles coming up, so this could be like on the next quarter moon or even on the next full moon can be connected with this. I think whatever this was that happened, it could have you like rearranging your priorities. Like maybe you were prioritizing something, things ended up unfolding in the way that they did, and maybe it's making you like reevaluate and maybe switch some things up. Because you could have decided maybe after whatever this was that happened, like something's got to change, because maybe it's not feeling... Okay, what I'm getting is that this thing that happened, you could have gone into it with some like conditional circumstance, which there's no issue with that, okay? A lot of us have expectations of things when we're going into something. This was something where there was a conditional circumstance on the situation. It looks like those conditions were not what unfolded, and that may make you go back and look at things and say, like, if these conditions aren't happening, I'm gonna need to rearrange because this is what's unfolding. And maybe this only works if these particular conditions are like what's manifesting. That's not what's happening. And so I need to rearrange some things here so I'm not setting myself up for this to happen again. So this can shed light on what you really want to be prioritizing, maybe something that you were prioritizing that you could feel like maybe doesn't deserve to be prioritized in this way. So this can like open a door. It feels like it's going to open new opportunity because of that. If the conditions were right for this situation, I think that like this wouldn't be necessary, but it seems because this is the way that things are happening that you have to adapt. And if you don't adapt, it feels like you're not really showing up for yourself, kind of like you're dismissing your feelings only to repeat the cycle again. So I do get an adapting that's happening here with this. We have Sun, Moon, and we have Taurus. This can even be something that happens around the time that the moon goes into Taurus, when it's moving through there. I see some new opportunity that, I mean, with the Hierophant, there's so many things that this could be. Having Ace of Wands and having the Hierophant can be some like investigation that you're going to be doing, but this will be more spiritually motivated if that's the case. There can be a new chapter that's getting started that's associated with your values. There can be a new chapter that's getting started where you can be taking on some new or different responsibility. I see some way that you're handling things that it looks like you're going to take the time to fully unpack this, but maybe also for some of you too, you're seeing something happen, feeling let down by that experience, and then maybe that's going to be a call for you to do something. Like, you know, this is kind of feeling a bit to me like when you see somebody that you would have expectations of them to be doing things a certain way. Like this can be somebody that's maybe playing a role that you deem as being important where they need to be effective. You can look at somebody and feel like they're not really doing what they should be doing or what they're supposed to be doing or what's expected of them. So maybe you're going to be like, well, if nobody's going to do it, I'll be that person then to go and do that. You know, it can be like somebody that's running something and is like in charge of something and maybe they're not doing a good job and you're like, well, somebody's got to do it. So like this could be something potentially that you end up doing. I guess something about role models as well that's coming through with this. Like this can be one of those times where you feel like something needs to be done right and maybe you're not seeing someone like in that role, so then you have to become that person only because you see that there's a space for that and feel like that's something that's missing, and so it can be something that you end up doing because of that. Even if this, it can just be something that you deem as being important that you feel like called to do, because nobody's out there doing the same thing that you would be doing. So it can be something like that even. The word logic is coming through. There can also be an issue because you feel like something was not prioritized properly. I think that one of the hardest things that I'm seeing as far as this reading is concerned for you to do is to be able to accept the way that you feel, and rather than shutting down because of feeling so like bothered or upset, let down, disappointed, sad, underwhelmed, rather than shutting down because of that, feels like to make some sort of shift that needs to be made. Like you have to do something where there's an adaptation that you have to make. And I think that when you're going through something where we feel let down, it can be so hard to try to find motivation because we kind of just want to dwell in it because we feel upset. And I think taking this and using it as a catalyst is really where the power lies within this experience. And that it can even like shape something actually significant for you. Okay, so this also looks like, if some of you, this is heavily a work situation. So this is about looking at something, seeing that the situation isn't going to be changing, so you have to be the one to change. And yeah, some of you, this can definitely be like with a job thing. It can be stuff outside of that, but I'm seeing a lot of things that are focused around that, archetypally speaking anyway. But that can always be a metaphor for something too. Like maybe you're feeling like something that you're doing has been a job, or it has been a responsibility, or it has been something that you have been like watching over, and maybe something's happening now with that where you want to take that back and maybe put your energy into something else. Yeah, some of you, this is going to be, you may be making money in a new or a different way. You could be like getting a new job, doing something different. Because Hierophant can have to do with the second house, among other houses. Hierophant is connected with Taurus, which naturally rules second house, and Hierophant is also connected with the ninth house too. So it can be things having to do with those themes. It's like, it feels like it's going to be Taurus related, whatever this is that you're going to be doing. And themes of Taurus can be like values, appreciation of things. It can be money. It can also be about responsibilities. It can be about like traditions. This can also be about like institutions as well. It can be about communities. It can be community driven. But I see something specifically where you can look at something and feel like there's a gap, and you may want to close that gap, or you may want to fill that gap. And it can be something where you're like, that gap shouldn't be there, but it is, and I'm recognizing that, and I feel calling to like fill that in. I get that. Maybe this was something that you weren't expecting to see. I'm also seeing Sun and I'm seeing Mars connecting with one another. So there can be something about a Sun-Mars transit too. The goal of this is to heal whatever you look at and see as being broken. But it seems to like this is something that's going to take some time. Because I even see something where you have to go like back in the backlogs of something, and that's going to inform you better of what has to be done. But I'm seeing stuff that needs to be gone through. I see two strong feelings that you would have about this as well. I see that this is something that you're going to really love that you're doing. But that may also just be a byproduct of you doing this thing that you feel called to do. That you're like seeing signs of something and feeling just naturally that there's a need for you to show up there with that. Like there's a feeling of conviction that I'm seeing be with this, among other things that are being felt. So yeah. All right, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everyone for connecting and tuning in. I'm sending everybody love, and I hope to catch you guys next time.